But interesting enough, like I think that's why YouTube is kind of betting on that, right? Like on
Yes.
user generated content. So there
Yes.
are avenues, there are newer OTT platforms that are emerging, that are uh, more capital constrained, right? And so they're opting for local content and different niches. And I think you mentioned this, Siddhant, last time, um, about a new OTT platform that you had come across. What was it? Did you say a soft core category? Was it the way you had
Yeah.
called it out?
So correct, correct. So the thing is, a lot of see, your mainstream content has pretty much been dominated by the few three, four major players you have in the market, right? You've got Netflix, you've got Disney Plus, and its bundling. You've got Prime, of course, and Apple TV, which has its own genre of content. So what happens is there is a lot of content that is still out there to be played or viewed. But firstly, these mainstream platforms will never pick it up, and secondly, the audiences are probably not a right fit. So yeah, you've got, like, for example, you've got a bunch of steamy stories, where it's not the sex, it's basically just the storyline, the fact that there's something going on, there's a lot of tension in the air which people love to watch, but you're never going to see that on Netflix, or you're never going to see that on a Prime. You might see glimpses of it in your mainstream shows. So yeah, there was this channel in India, and it got banned this June, but it was called Ullu TV, and it was basically known for these steamy, soft core stories.
Kind
Uh,
of like regional content, but in like kind of this for like 20, I
um,
think 8 minutes of like
Correct. So they had like
story
they
building.
had a ratio. So they say, okay, if there's a sex scene which goes on for a minute, it's going to be 8 minutes of content for every 1 minute of sex, because the content before and after the sex is more important and is what is pulling our audiences in.
And they were
Uh,
doing a lot of money. They were making a lot of money
they
before the
were the
ban.
only profitable platform in India in this genre. I think they had a turnover of close to 100 crores every single year through this content, and a lot of these struggling actors and people who didn't make it into your tier one sort of shows and movies were doing this sort of content, and it has a huge audience. See, the thing is, people are not going to come outright and say, oh yeah, yeah, I love this. But when you float such content out, you realize that there's a huge market, especially in tier 2 and tier 3 towns in India, and that is what sort of got this Ullu TV platform to be such a success. Another sort of content viewing which is now becoming a huge thing is esports, viewing of esports, not
Yeah.
competing
Which
in
is
any
there on
way.
huge on YouTube and Twitch. Yeah.
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 So this
Yeah.
is what the channels like Twitch have actually sort of made their money on, and this is
Yeah.
what
Which is
YouTube
also
now,
Amazon now.
yeah, has started
Yeah.
capitalizing on. And there's a channel called E-Clut TV, which is basically specifically a game e-game tournament viewing platform. I'm sure I'm not phrasing it correctly, but you get my point.
Yeah.
So these sort of content pieces, or these sort of alternate forms of content, is also something that's going to come up,
In the
and
future. Yeah.
I'm actually very interested in seeing how they tie into the larger ecosystem, because there is going to be an audience for this content. So do they stay standalone for a very long amount of time, or do they gradually come into the bundles that exist today in mainstream content? Is yet to be seen, and I mean, honestly, I'm excited to see how that pans out over the next 5 years, a
And
decade.
I think this is a very good, since we're talking now about trends, about future, what we can see in the future of OTT kind of thing, which is these alternate forms of content which are all equally engaging are definitely going to be on the rise. I think another trend we should watch out for is something I happened to see very recently about which was this Bob Iger, who is the CEO of Disney, announced recently. And kind of that announcement, kind of, you read between the lines, kind of makes you realize that they are worried about YouTube, these OTT platforms, because apparently now with the use of AI, Disney Plus is launching something in the US where basically creators can now use basically AI to morph themselves into Disney characters and
Mm.
create short form content on Disney, and they're going to push it out. So, I mean, they are definitely, but the fact that these OTT platforms are now coming up with this kind of interactive content, also, and wanting creators to come and make content on their thing, is kind of like a sort of a response to YouTube's domination only. So I mean, this could be a trend which could come up in the future where other OTT platforms also go down like a Netflix route just to be able to compete with YouTube.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
I think a lot of
100%.
creator-led content is going to start being licensed and bought out by these major streaming platforms.
Yeah, correct.
Because what they're realizing is that these creators have a huge fan base,
Yeah,
huge,
yeah,
and you're going to want to monetize that at some point. So they're going to enter licensing deals with these creators, and they're going to try and capitalize on their presence, the creators' presence on their streaming platform to pull in new audiences, which is, your younger audiences today. They need more than just your TV dramas to get pulled in or to start paying for that subscription.
Yeah, and
So
we're already
creator
seeing those
led,
early signals, right? Like
yeah,
Mr. Beast is with Prime was basically an attempt at that, right?
correct.
yeah,
Yeah, and even with the AI piece, right? Like there was a British news channel that quite recently, I think it was just a few weeks ago, um, did a complete episode of broadcasting the news, and then right at the end of it, uh, they showed the host sort of disappear completely
Hmm.
from the frame and illustrate that you didn't even
yeah,
realize you were actually watching an AI generated
yeah.
host telling you the news, right?
Right.
So early signs are all there that that's
Like,
really how the
yeah,
direction that the industry is taking.
we have in India. I mean, I know in the US these things are protected about AI content and everything through the writer's strike and stuff like that. But in India, we already have our first AI generated streaming show on Mahabharat, which is coming on Hotstar. It's streaming right now
Yeah,
on
Right.
Hotstar
yeah.
TV. So, like, I mean, that is also definitely going to be one trend. One trend, I don't know why it disappeared. I hope it comes back. Was the whole interactive content stream,
Like the
which kind of
Bandersnatch episode.
yeah, like the Black Mirror Bandersnatch, where basically you could choose what decision the creator, like the character makes, and you got different end results out of it. I think there were only one or two. I think there was a before that. I think they were not the first ones to try it. There was a Sharon Stone episode show movie also, which also did this, and then they came up with this the Bandersnatch one episode. I don't know why that stopped. I think it was really cool, and it was like a little bit of a video game kind of thing, and we're already seeing the lines blur between video game content and this with the Last of Us coming now. There's Fallout which has come out on Prime Video, so they're adapting video games into shows. But yeah, I hope that trend definitely comes back in the future.
Maybe it'll make the
Personally,
less grumpy about subscriptions.
yeah, maybe, yeah,
So,
yeah,
if
yeah.
anyone relevant is watching this episode, please, we pray to you.